Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing the third game in my series, My Journey to 2200 on chess.com Rapid Play. Okay, let's see if we can find an opponent. Okay, if you've not seen my channel before, whilst playing the game I'm going to be giving you my thoughts, plans and ideas so you can get some idea of what goes on inside the head of a player of my standard. I'm currently around 1800 over the board and 1900 on chess.com daily games. Okay, so we've got a game in progress. I'm a Queen's Gambit player or D4 player. So we've got Queen's Gambit declined, which played E6. So sometimes I play the exchange variation. But I'm going to keep the pawns on the board on this in this particular game. See if we can keep the complications a little bit more. Okay, so it's fairly normal book stuff at the moment and nothing too out of the ordinary. Both sides are just developing pieces. Expecting castles here. Possibly c6 as a move, knight bd7, that's another move. In which case against most or all of those I'd probably like to play e3, bishop to d3 or e2 and then castle myself just to complete my development. Okay, so already having a little bit of a think. That's a little bit unusual. Okay, so I'm currently rated 1771. I haven't played many rapid play games, so there's quite a fluctuation with a win, lose or draw on this game. Okay, so h6, yep, that's played sometimes as well, not as common, but I'll just slide the bishop back to h4. That's fine. Okay, occasionally they play g5, but that just wrecks the king pawn structure, the king side structure, and makes it quite a little bit more difficult to actually castle on that side of the board. So if he plays that, that's fine. Okay, so he's just played castles, so I'm just going to play e3 just so I can develop my white squared bishop. Let's see what gives. I wonder what his strategy is going to be here. Is he maybe going for an early c5 at some point? Okay, so yeah, sometimes I develop the bishop on d3, other times on e2. Sometimes it's a bit of a mood thing, or that, either square is perfectly good. Okay, I'm going to play it to d3 on this occasion. There's no chance of bishop to g4 at the moment, so I think it's perfectly safe, and that's quite a common thing. Black waits for the bishop to develop, and before relieving the tension in the centre with d takes c4. That sort of gains black a move, but there's not too much white can do about it unless he makes a capture in the centre himself, so that's okay. I wonder if we're going to get c5 in this position. Always a problem in this line is where's black going to put the light squared bishop, and yeah, that's a good place to put it. Okay, that also maybe helps him play c5 as well, so I need to think about what my plan is. So the obvious move is to castle. You're going to play bishop b7. It would be nice to slide the bishop back to here on d3 so it doesn't play e4 and block the diagonal, and also establish a little bit more control in the centre. But yeah, we'll start with castles. Don't see any other move in that position. Okay, yeah, bishop b7 as anticipated. Now I'd like to be able to move the queen somewhere as well, maybe to c2 or e2. C2 obviously he's going to capture my knight and double my pawns and wreck my king side, so that's not an option. Yeah, this is normally where I'd like the bishop on e2 as well, just to support the knight, and my queen can go wandering if it wants to. But I really like the idea of trying to get a second pawn in the centre. So if I play bishop d3, he might respond with c5, in which case playing e4 might be slightly more difficult. I could play rook c1 and just see what he does. Rook c1 is quite a good developing move, and it's quite common as well. So yeah, let's play rook c1 and see what he does. Yeah, slightly non-committal on my last move, but I'm just wondering how black is going to proceed here. I suppose he might play knight e4, which is, yeah, probably, I didn't really consider that. That would allow an exchange of pieces, you know, dark squared bishops on e7. That would relieve some of the pressure that black's got, because he's a little bit congested on the back three ranks at the moment. So maybe bishop d3 was better, just to stop that option. In saying that, you can always play knight to d5 as well. So yeah. I think my move rook c1 was quite flexible, but if he does play knight e4, I don't really want to capture to relieve the tension, but I might have to. Yeah, so after knight e4, I don't want to play knight takes knight, because bishop takes on h4, knight takes, queen takes, and I'm going to have to move the knight that's on this square, and then maybe back to g3, and that sort of gives black a little bit of play on the king side. And I've always got to sort of keep an eye on where that queen's roaming around. There could be possible mating threats on g2 if you can establish it, the queen up perhaps on g4 or something. So yeah, I don't think I want to allow that. So after knight e4 or d5, yeah, I'm probably going to have to capture that bishop. And after knight e4, bishop takes, queen takes, then I'll slide the bishop back. He can capture, in which case I'll take with the pawn, strengthen my centre, and then e4 is possible. And I've got some reinforced. I can reinforce, yeah, my pawn on d4 as well. Okay, if after bishop takes, queen takes, I play bishop to d3, I'm not sure he's going to play f5, because this is a backward pawn on e6 then, although it reinforces the knight that's on that square. That becomes a target, certainly later in the game. So yeah, let's exchange on e7. I haven't got much choice, I don't think. Coming back to here doesn't make any sense, because you'll just capture it with a knight and have to play hg, and he's got the bishop pair then, which I don't really want to concede. So I wonder if he's thinking about playing knight takes knight here, but yeah, I don't think that's on. So yeah, I'm going to play bishop back, which asks the question, what's he going to do with the knight? And it's also got an X-ray attack on the pawn on c7 with my rook. So he needs to do something a little bit more decisive, or a little bit decisive. Now, although my rook's developed here, if he played knight takes knight, pawn takes, I like pawn takes, because any time I can enhance my centre, I usually like to do it. You know, I'm the sort of player that likes to try and dominate the centre as much as possible. So anytime I can put as many pawns in the centre or capture towards the centre, then that's my kind of game. Okay, so yeah, okay, I slightly overlooked that move. That's quite an obvious move, I think. I suppose I'm looking at playing queen c2. However, after knight takes, pawn takes, then he's got bishop takes, knight on f3, and then my pawns are going to be king side's going to be a little bit wrecked. So that's a little bit of an oversight on my part. So what are the strategies or ideas have I got? I could maybe play knight back to d2. I don't really want to be exchanging pieces off there, because that kind of relieves the pressure for him and the tension. And black's a little bit cramped. It certainly was before we started the tour of the knights. Another idea maybe is to play knight b5, which is likely to be met with, because that's got a double hit on this pawn. It's unlikely he'll play rook f to c8 to defend. If he plays this rook across, then I can capture the pawn on here. Although then c6 and my knight might be trapped. But whether he'll see that far, I don't know. But anyway, after knight here, the obvious move is to play c6 straight away. My knight has to go back. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. Actually, I could capture the knight once. If he captures knight takes, then I play queen takes here, which is hitting the knight again, and also hitting the pawn on c7. That might be slightly difficult to answer, so yeah, let's go with that. If he captures with the bishop, yeah, if he captures the bishop, I'll just play bishop takes bishop, knight takes, and then queen to c2, hitting both knight and the pawn on c7. So yeah, unless there's something I've overlooked here, I'm sort of half expecting to win a pawn here. So queen to c2. He's likely to play knight f6. Okay, I could play... Then I could play queen takes c7. After queen takes queen, rook takes. Okay, that wins me a pawn. Now, when the queens are off, I don't mind so much if he plays bishop takes knight, pawn takes, which does wreck my king side a little bit, but that's less of a problem. And I've got bishop over the knight, and if he decides to play rook c8, then I'll just play rook to c1 from f, and yeah, that's looking good. So I think we'll play queen c2. Alright, what else has he got? Yeah, f5. I'll just answer that with queen takes c7. You can't deal with both threats at the moment, so just looking for other ideas. Yeah, I'm expecting knight f6 or maybe knight d6. Okay, yeah, that's wow, that's an interesting way to deal with it, because now what is the idea is after knight takes, queen takes, which threatens mate, so then I can't take the pawn on c7. So that's quite a nice move. I like that. I wonder if I can sidestep it with knight e5. That's a nice move. So knight e5, can he play c5? Pawn takes, queen takes c5. Yeah, probably just going to play rook to c8, in which case I'll plant the knight on c6, which blocks the diagonal. And then maybe I can play f3 just to completely block the diagonal some more if I need to. Yeah, I certainly don't want to be playing knight takes knight, so yeah, that's a good try, that is, knight to g5, but yeah, I'm going to sidestep and play here. I suppose I should actually look at bishop takes g2, king takes, and then is there a useful knight move? No, there isn't. Otherwise, yeah, because we're looking at queen g5 if you can find a useful square for the knight, but there's nowhere for it to go without it being captured, so that's okay. So, if I was to evaluate the position, I'm probably going to be miles out here, but let's say I'm probably maybe 0.5 up at the moment, I would think. Yeah, I've got slightly more space, the material's equal, pawn formation is both solid on both sides, although this is obviously now become a target. Piece activity, okay, his knight and bishop are quite good. My knight is very good. My bishop is good as well. It's pointing towards the king side. Yeah, queen's obviously active with a rook down the half-open c-file. His rooks are not really in the game at the moment. So, yeah, I'd say I've got a slight edge. Well, maybe 0.3, 0.5. Yeah, okay, c5. So, yeah, that's certainly on my candidate list. So I'm looking pawn takes. Now then, is there a sneaky move he can play here which hits the knight and also maybe threatens... You certainly can't threaten mate because the queen can't get to the diagonal or onto the g-file to threaten it. But maybe after pawn takes he's probably going to ignore that. And can he play queen here, hitting my knight? My knight hasn't really got that much of a useful square to go to afterwards. If he plays queen f6, I'd just go knight d7, which forks the queen and the rook. But then knight check. I can't capture it because after queen takes, I'm going to get mated on g2, possibly, unless he's e4 a move. Yeah, I think that just about blocks the diagonal, doesn't it? But it's very, my king is very open. So he's coming queen g4, and there's at least a perpetual check on there. We don't really want to allow that. Okay, so what are we looking at? So pawn takes, queen f6, knight here, knight to f3 check, king to h1. Yeah, then queen here, h4. Oh, this is looking a bit ugly. It's threatening mate on this square, then on h2. So then I have to go to h3. Now it's starting to get a bit hazy. I certainly can't play pawn takes here because the bishop joins in the attack, and I'm going to get mated very quickly. So how does it go from there? So then he plays knight back to g5, which is threatening this. Oh, I'm not sure I can allow that. So after pawn takes pawn, queen f6, do I play f4 then in that case? Which threatens the knight. Yeah. Oh, hang on, can we threaten the knight now? Because it's got nowhere to go. Yeah, this is quite. This is going to spice up very soon. The problem is if he does play pawn takes in the middle, I play pawn takes knight, queen takes. That threatens mate. Okay, so I want a piece. Okay, then this becomes hanging as well. So then I'd have to retreat back to here, which would stop the mate. Wow. Yeah, okay, let's go after the piece. Yeah, I probably didn't look at pawn takes enough, but because there's a piece that's looks like it's hanging, it's got nowhere to go at the moment. I really should go for it. That's my my thoughts on that. Yeah, with the temporary piece sack, there might be something around the corner I haven't seen, but we'll see. Could just play f6 in response, in which case I'll just see if I can find a square for my knight, maybe c4 or g4. I think g4. Although the knight might just get in the way of me trying to defend. Actually, yeah, now I've played f4, the mating threats on g2 are not so much of a problem because I'm defending laterally with my queen. So, okay, so that's okay. Sometimes don't see these in when I'm trying to commentate, but that's what happens. Okay, I wonder what he's going to play. Obviously can't play knight h7 because I just capture it with a bishop and that just wins a piece outright, so I'm expecting f6. If he does play f6, I think we're going knight g4. He still hasn't got a square for his knight. Knight to g4. Yeah, naturally he's taken a little bit of time on this one. It took me 3 minutes on my last move, which is quite a long time in a 15-minute game. But sometimes complications deserve such time of thought. Yeah, I think f4 was definitely the right move. f4. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking f6. What would I play? Yeah, f6, knight g4, h5. By playing f6 after knight g4, you can go into this square then. Okay, so that does actually get him out of the problem move. F6, knight g6. I've only just spotted that. That's something I should have seen fairly quickly. So f6 is not possible. Maybe I'll do something a little bit random. Like bishop g2, although I'll just play queen. I was just thinking maybe rook c8 just to sort of put, if I play pawn takes, he plays pawn takes with tempo because he's hitting my queen, and then after queen takes here, he's hitting my knight. So let's see. So after pawn takes, can I play bishop h7 check, king in the corner, knight here? Yeah, pawn takes, queen takes. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere, does it? Yeah, I think I'm just going to up the tempo slightly because once you start thinking a little bit too much in rapid, you kind of get a little bit bogged down in your own thoughts. So he's going to obviously capture that pawn. So I'm a knight up for what's going to be a pawn at the moment. Then there's a second pawn that's going to drop after I move my queen. So I just need to find a decent square for my queen. Maybe e2. So I need to try and reinforce this diagonal. Just block that bishop, and then after queen captures here, then maybe knight back, which hits the queen, threatens this, or allows me to take this pawn as well. So if he goes cd, then queen e2. If he captures this first, yeah, knight d7 is a waste of time. He's just going to play a rook across, hitting it. Okay, yeah, he's gone that way. Yeah, I don't see a better move, so just queen e2. So I've got a minute extra on the clock, so let's see if we can maintain that time advantage. It might be useful later. So I'm expecting queen takes pawn now. If he does, actually I could just play pawn takes pawn, and which defends the knight. So which way is he going to capture? So if he plays pawn takes, queen takes, and then he can play queen takes, and then I'll just exchange queens a piece up. That's fine, I don't mind that. Alternatively, actually, if he plays pawn takes here, I'm probably just going to capture on h6, which you then have to capture here. So yeah, he's going to have to play queen takes here, isn't he? So I'm just a knight for a pawn up, and it's quite a beast in the middle of the board as well on e5. So and the only danger I've really got is just to make sure my queen or something's handy just to stop him mating me on g2. But I really want to try and oppose that bishop at some point. Okay, so rook takes rook. There's no interposing moves, is there? So I think we'll just play rook takes rook. Surprised really, because that just concedes a c file. Okay, so he's captured here. Oh, sneaky. Sneaky, yeah, pawn takes pawn, queen takes rook. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the reason for that. So I think maybe I'm forced now to play knight back to here, in which case he'll play pawn take, no sorry, queen takes pawn takes, and then it's a knight for 2 pawns. Hopefully I can round that pawn up on d3, but e3, but we'll see. Could I maybe play rook c7? Then after queen takes e5, rook takes. Yeah, that's. Yeah, after rook here, followed by queen here. My rook's getting kicked around on this. There again, I can take that pawn. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. As much as I like having a rook on the 7th, when it's alone, I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. So, yeah, let's just play knight f3, keep it a little bit more safe and secure. It's probably a move I should look at rook c7, but given that we're down to under 5 minutes, I just want to try and keep it as simple as possible, especially materially up now. So I wonder if he'll capture bishop takes knight on that. For me that would be a mistake. After queen takes, and then okay, then he could play pawn takes. That's the only upside of that move, but yeah, then maybe I can play rook e1 and round that pawn up. In whilst I'm doing that, he's probably like to play rook c8, and then after queen takes pawn, queen takes queen. Sorry, queen takes queen. Oh, he's done it, and then queen takes. Queen takes. Yeah, sorry. After I've gone queen takes pawn, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Then the rook can come here, king there, but then importantly my bishop's keeping him out of c2, so my pawns are not going to get kicked around. So, okay, so we take that. Surprised he gave the bishop up for the knight, but that's okay. At least any mating threats on g2 have now disappeared, so that's okay. So if he plays pawn takes pawn, I'm pretty sure I'm going to play this rook e1. Yeah, he's spending quite a lot of time on some of these moves. Yeah, I'm just going to play a little bit more quickly. Let's keep the pressure on a little bit. Yeah, if I hadn't got a bishop defending that square, this line might be a little bit more questionable. I'd probably want to keep hold of the c file a little bit more, but I think this is fine. Exchange of queens would be good, especially just picking that pawn off, so then it's just a bishop versus oh, actually I've just realised materially we're level at the moment, because obviously he's just captured a pawn. So okay, so it's a bishop for 2 pawns. It's slightly more difficult to win, but should be able to win it. he says. But he's certainly making it more easy because he's thinking about probably some obvious moves a little bit too long, and that extra time is definitely more useful in the end game. So not that I'm trying to win it on time, but if a player plays a little bit slower than the sort of rate of the normal tempo of the game, then you can pressure them a little bit into making mistakes towards the end of the game. So yeah, rook c8, queen takes here. That's what I'm expecting. And what you really should do is then drop the queen back somewhere. Try and keep the queens on the board, especially when he's only down to a minute and a half. And he's really going to have to change to the gears fairly soon and start upping the tempo. Yeah, it's a bishop for 3 pawns at the moment, but obviously that one's going to drop. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so can I just play queen takes pawn? Can't. Is there any tricks of? Yeah, just queen takes, rook takes, and then that's defended. It's defended in all lines. He spent quite a long time looking at that, so I'm just going to have a quick look myself just to make sure I'm not overlooking something. He's quite a tricky player. That rook takes rook was unexpected, but there was a little nasty trap at the end of it. So I'm going to treat this move with the respect that it deserves. So after queen takes, is there something he's got up his sleeve after that? Yeah, personally I'll play something like queen g4, and then if there's time, then throw the h pawn to try and set up a mating attack on g2 when it gets to h3. But yeah, that's doesn't really happen because the queen's defending that square. So queen takes. I can't say anything untoward. So queen takes, rook takes. I'll just play queen takes, rook. There's a check on h5 afterwards. Oh, sorry, c5, and then it doesn't hit the rook or anything. So then it's just queen there. So is there any nasty places you can give me a check once the queen's on there? No, I can't say anything. No, okay, so let's take it. He's probably just played a move, just obviously to try and force me into a mistake, but okay. If it was earlier in the game, I would play bishop back to b1 and then just target the h7 with a queen and bishop battery, but is it probably a little bit too late for that? So bishop here, then queen to there, queen takes, rook takes, and then I've got a problem on the second. So that's obviously what that big think was all about. So now I'm going to have to start up in the tempo, so I really don't want to mess this up on time. So yeah, let's go bishop e4, hitting the queen. If it comes queen there, I've just realised my pawn on a2 is hanging now, so ouch. That's not such a good move. So if he takes on a2, I'm going to play queen here and then play rook to there. It'd be nice to get an exchange of queens, not rooks, but I suppose one's better than the other. Okay. Now I'm just going to start playing much more quickly. Okay, I'm going to play h3 at some point just to give my king a flight square, while I have a think about how I'm going to proceed I think the white squared battery on h7 would be a good idea. Yeah, he obviously wants to come to here at some point, so yeah, let's give my king a little bit more luft, as they say. Yeah, he's going to play rook there now. Yeah, I'm just not thinking. Yeah, absolutely, good move. So I need to start. I'm playing a little bit too passive. I need to start making some threats of my own. Okay, so queen f3, bishop b1, and then target the white squares. I think I can't really defend the pawn on b2, so okay. And I think we'll follow it up with rook f1 as well. Let's give him something to think about, because he's doing all the attacking at the moment. Oh, I've just realised rook takes here and my rook's hanging. So which way do I take? Do I take with the king if he's seen it? Oh, this is going to be really difficult to win now, because I'm dropping pawns like there's no tomorrow. If he plays rook takes, I'm going to go rook f1 and target the f7 pawn. He's going to play this. Then I'll play bishop g6, and I'm threatening mate on h8, on a8. He really needs to play quickly. He's taken that way. Okay. And if he checks me on c5, I'm going to h1. Yeah, f6 here. His queen. He can't defend his with a rook or queen. He's gone to f5. Yeah, that's a better move. Okay, I was thinking about capturing, but I just realised the queen's defending it as well. So don't want to put it on b1. a8's miles out of the game, but I might need that diagonal. Yeah, I can't think of a good place to put it. Yeah, b1's a horrendous square. Yeah, let's go to b7 and then we'll come back to c8 and target the e6 pawn. Well, I've got to watch out for the queen check, yeah, because that means I can't go then to go to c8. Yeah, I've gone to here so as he can't check me on the black squares. Yeah, this is getting awkward now. I want to play rook here, then he's going to play rook c1. I don't want to trade because there'll be a check, and then when a king goes to there, then it's queen there, and then he picks off my bishop. So I'm going to play here, and then if he plays rook c1, I'm going queen here. Still got to watch out for that bishop, because it's probably likely to be a little bit vulnerable where it is. There might be some tricks I've got to watch out for with queen hitting it and making a dual threat as well. So, but at least I'm hitting the e6 pawn. That's giving him something to think about. Okay, I was expecting that. Yeah, I've still got a couple of minutes extra on the clock. So, yeah, no, I'll get my bishop back on side. 4 pawns. That's a lot. Yeah, I can't go to c8. If I go here, he's going to play b5. If I go here, he's definitely playing this pawn, in which case I play here. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do it and re-coordinate it. Yeah, this unless I can get some big activity with my my bishop and queen, this is probably going to be lost now. I played very passively in that middle section. which is why I lost a lot of material, and we're in trouble where we are now. So, right, okay, let's play there to stop a4 and also threaten a queen check. Might see if I can get the bishop to this square as well. Yep. So if I go to d7, if he checks me on c1, I can go to h2. The problem is then he comes into there. Yeah, this is definitely awkward. Attempt to play g4 to try and undermine that, but I need to attack it first, but I don't think it's quite on. Okay, I need to up the tempo, so I need to find a way to hit him on the white squares around his king. I was looking at bishop h5 to try and provoke g6, but I don't think it's there. Let's play it anyway. I need to make some moves, keep him under pressure. Okay, yeah, he's just going to ignore it because there's no threat, is there? Okay, so yeah, queen e1. The idea is, okay, that's not really, that's the queen attacking that as a sideshow. I'm looking to play to g3 and then play onto g6, maybe get a perpetual or something. And if it goes to c1, obviously queen c1, king h2. There's no, you can't pin my queen. So yeah, okay. Obviously these pawns are just raining down on me now, so I've got to make sure that something happens. So you might go queen c8 here. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Oh, he hasn't. I'm sure I've got a perpetual. Yeah, I've got at least a perpetual here now, because I can just repeat with queen here. So, is there a possible mating? Oh yes, yeah. I'm going to mate him, and then after king there, then it's bishop there. That mates. Wow, I don't think I deserve that, but wow, sometimes you just have to find the attacking lines. That wasn't the greatest of games. I certainly allowed myself to be overrun a little bit. It was sort of the middle game, but I managed to get out of it with a little bit of old school kingside attack. Right, okay, so let's have a quick look at the game. Slightly trembling after that, because I didn't expect that to be to just turn quickly like that, but hey ho. Okay, so the game review said it's not working, but he said that on my last game as well. Okay, so rating on that, accuracy 85.7, that's not bad. 84.6 for my opponent, who played very well actually. His rating 1674. I think he played a little bit better than that. Certainly came out with some sneaky stuff anyway. The only thing he probably didn't play too well was when he left the knight hanging around in the middle of the board with the dual threat of this pawn. So, but apart from that, he did well. Okay, so so lots of best and some fair bit of excellent moves and book moves. Okay, here we go. So 2 inaccuracies, 3 mistakes, 1 miss and 2 blunders. I'd be interested to see where my blunders were. Obviously that's when all the pawns started dropping round about here. Wow, I was minus 4.4 at one point. Okay, let's quickly look through it then. So obviously all sort of fairly standard stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Yeah, so we're all in book. Yeah. Okay, so DC, yeah, that's quite normal idea. Like I said in the game, just to waste white at tempo. Okay, that's fairly normal. Yeah. Yeah, rook c1. Okay, so I've actually played a book move. Okay. I've actually played this 29 times as white with 69% win rate, so obviously that factors in all my daily games because I've not played much rapid, but white's only got a very slight edge. Okay, so the knight e4. Okay, that's an inaccuracy. What was his best move? a6, presumably following up with b5, and then the bishop drops back, and I'm guessing then c5 quite shortly afterwards. Okay, so after knight comes here, I played, oh, so it doesn't like my bishop takes on e7, my bishop takes bishop after knight e4, so what's it recommending? Let's have a look. Okay, so, oh wow, okay, so it showed me the moves. Okay, that's fine. However, what would happen if sorry, I'm doing this too slowly. So knight e4, and what I didn't like was knight takes, and then he played bishop takes here. So why can't he do that? Okay, the end. D5. Okay, yeah, that shuts down the bishop attacking the knight, and then I can capture here, but wow. Yeah, bishop takes h4 is best, although it didn't say that in the in the line we just looked at in the game reviews, so I'm a little bit surprised. So let's see, so d5, yeah, I'm not sure whether the engine's just having a bit of a mare here, but I can't imagine it is, because it's pretty, obviously it's, yeah, Stockfish 16, he obviously knows something more than I do, but what I didn't like was after knight takes, queen takes, and then I've still got to move this, and then the queen's sort of roaming around my king's side, and there's potential mating threats on g2 if he puts the queen there and I ignore it, and he comes marching down with this h pawn to kick this knight away. So yeah, I mean, look, it's equals already, so no, I don't think I really want to be getting into that. So I think certainly for how I like to play, I think I probably don't really want to be exchanging bishops off and relieving him of pressure, but I didn't really see much other choice. Okay, so bishop here, yeah, obviously that wasn't so good, especially after I'd missed knight to here. So what was the better move? Bishop d3, and then best move, knight takes, what's it recommended? Bishop takes, then bishop d3. Okay, and yeah, I've got slight edge, so after pawn takes, pawn knight takes, and then the queen moves and the rooks come to the open files, and yeah, they're probably all going to get traded and we'll shake hands not far afterwards. So yeah, but yeah, knight f6, that was a decent move. Wow, it's a mistake. I mean, I thought it was okay. Well, yeah, I thought it was okay initially, but then obviously I found the yeah, so knight takes e4, that's the correct response, and I get an exclamation point. Knight takes, yep. Queen takes c2, yep. Okay, and that's, yeah, so now he's really in a losing position at this point, because obviously he's it's still very tricky. Obviously there's a pawn hanging here, but I can't take it at the moment because obviously knight takes f3 and then bishop takes on captures, and then I'm going to get mated fairly quickly. So why was that? What did it recommend? Knight f6. Okay, yeah, then I'll just capture there, and yeah, but right, I don't like it when it just shoots off like this. So okay, so let's have a look. So knight e5 was the move I played, then it's recommending rook c8. Okay, then h4. I played f4 in the game. for the same reason. The knight's got nowhere to go without being taken. So then c5, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. hg, yeah. Okay, so I mean this is very similar to what happened. Obviously I just played f4 instead of h4. Okay, so queen c2, yeah, played it. Knight g5, mistake. Knight e5, yep, saw it. Okay, c5, yep, that's a decent effort. And f4. Okay, so f4 is actually the better move instead of h4 when the rook hasn't gone to there. Don't ask me the intricacies of that, but I think the ideas are very similar. Okay, and now he's played rook a to c8. Okay, but that's not as good on this occasion, so so he should be playing c4. Okay, I'll probably just capture that. I'd capture that with a queen. No. Oh, whichever. I'd have to capture the knight, because if I capture with bishop or queen, you could play the knight there and save it. Okay, so that's fine. So let's see what I should then be doing. So slow down. Okay, so oh blast, I've lost it. So after c5, f4. Rook c8, and then we want to know why that's so bad. Okay, so then I should capture. He takes a bishop. I was looking at bishop h7, king there. Wow. Oh, rook takes f7. Oh, that's a killer. I didn't look at that. I was looking at knight here and then abandoned it after pawn takes, because the only follow-up I've got is to play queen takes or bishop. Well, I can't play bishop takes because my queen's still hanging, but if I play queen takes, then all I've got is a trap bishop there. Lots of lovely white squares, but yeah, I'm not going to make the guy because my bishop's in the way. So, but rook takes f7, and then after rook takes. Why can't he play rook c2? Oh no. Yeah, I'm not sure. So let's have a look. So rook takes f7. What happens if he plays rook takes here? Because I can't play rook takes because it's rook takes, rook check. So what's going on? King takes. Yeah, I was looking at this briefly, but there's no mate, is there, or something? Queen takes, yeah. Knight g6 picks up the queen with check, and then you play rook takes rook at the end of it. Okay, so just simply then it's knight here. King takes, and then when you capture the queen it's check, the king moves, and then you play rook takes rook, so then you're in exchange up in the endgame. Although in saying that, there's several pawns for it. Okay, pawns are just littered all over the board at the moment. They seem to be forgotten about in all the excitement of all the piece play and kingside attacks. So let's wind it back. So rook c8 was the last move. Okay, f to g5, yep, that's good. Okay, yep, that's as expected. Okay, so why didn't it like queen c2? Let's briefly have a look. Oh yeah, it's the same theme, isn't it? It's bishop h7 and rook takes on f7. It's the same position. Okay, so yeah, let's just very briefly look. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Sorry, I should be doing best first and then do it. Wrong thread. Okay, yeah, bishop h7 and all that. So let's forget all that. Okay, so queen e2, rook takes c1. Yeah, very sneaky move. I like that. Took him a while to find it, but yeah, it's a very good try that. And then queen takes g5. Yeah, yeah. As good as I could expect. Okay, now obviously he's just trying to go for material, try and get as much as he possibly can for the lost piece. So he's played all this very well. What's okay? So doesn't like my rook e1. Obviously it gives away the c file, which is what happened. So what's my best move? Queen e4, threatening mate. So he just goes g6. Yeah, g6. Okay, so it's telling me to ignore this pawn and go rook c7. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately I'm a little bit more guarded than that when you've got a pawn on the 6th rank or on my 3rd, so hence why I went for it. Let's try and round it up. Okay, so he's gone rook d8, I've taken a pawn. Yeah, I'm still 2.67 up here, so but he's still being very tricky. So that's a good move. And obviously, yeah, I was looking at bishop b1. It's quite thematic in a lot of moves, especially when there's unopposed bishop, to try and mate on h7 or at least get an attack on h7. It also defends the pawn, which is a complete oversight during the game. So bishop e4, yeah, total blunder. Certainly a mistake, if not a blunder. Yeah, and he captured. Yeah, did the right thing. Queen e2. Yeah, maybe rook e2 was better, I don't know. Yeah, not much in it, but there you go. Okay, queen a5, yeah, good move. h3, yeah, described as excellent. Certainly a move I need to play at some point, because potential back row mates at some point. What was better than that? Rook c1. Yeah, I don't like, when we've got heavy piece activity like this, I don't like leaving my pieces undefended. I suppose there's no threat in this particular case, but especially when you're short time, it's so easy just to drop a rook or something. But after h3, rook d2, yeah, and now I'm struggling to hold on to the pawn on b2 as well. So now it's into full attack mode. Yeah. I thought it might be a mistake, but I couldn't think of a better way. So okay, a little bit complicated for when you're a little bit short of time in a rapid play game. So rook b2 after queen f3. Okay, rook f1 in inaccuracy. Okay, and they're coming thick and fast now, inaccuracies. So queen g3. Okay, so that's just a threat of mate on b8 because he hasn't got the flight square there. So I think I would probably play g6 as black here. G5 is probably a little bit vulnerable to h4. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So after I played rook f1, hitting the f7 pawn, yeah, f5. That was probably quite obvious. Bishop b7. I wasn't sure where to put it. Let's see. c6. Yeah. In some lines, that does time a queen down a little bit because at some point he's going to play queen here check, and my queen's going to be tied to the defensive here. So I thought b7 was probably slightly better. Obviously, I was going to target this pawn with a bishop c8, but I suppose it's probably actually putting it on here and then going to d7. Yeah, that does target the better because after queen c5 I can't get at c8 now. So okay, so yeah, that's a better move. Okay, so queen check, king h1. Yeah, rook c2. If you can force a rook off here, it's probably slightly, well, arguably it might be slightly easier to win. Certainly if you get queens off, I think there'd be a good chance of him winning because his pawns would overwhelm me. Obviously if I can keep a queen on, then there's a chance of mating threats, which is what happened. Okay, he's forced a rook off. Yeah. Okay, oops. I thought e5 was okay. What was better? Yeah, that's probably just safety. Okay, I've gone back to f3 just to... I thought it was a little bit in no man's land on b7 with not much prospect. I wanted to try and sort of get it over to the king side a little bit more. It's okay, so here's what it's suggesting. I was expecting maybe it's just something e4 as soon as possible, because that just cuts my bishop off. this pawn's defended and it's completely outcast my bishop. So I thought the way I played it was okay. I'll lose a tempo or two, and now he's just coming at me with the pawns, and all I can do is now trying to make as many threats as I possibly can to try and either checkmate him or perpetual him. So queen d7, yep, that's probably a better move. I was slightly worried about him queen check and then to f4. Didn't really want to allow him to make the draw. So I've just spotted a blunder a bit further down, okay, which took my eye. So bishop h5, yeah, b5, that's not such a good move. And queen e1, okay. Obviously I'm trying to target this square to try and then get in on the white squares. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd go d7, f7 and then here, because in the meantime he's going to go queen c1, f4, and yeah, he's the one that's attacking and deciding the game and not me. Okay, what did it like? d7 presumably, yep, okay, so I'll play queen e1, right, a4, yep, you reckon says that's the best move. Now why was this such a bad move? Why was that such a bad move? I mean, that is losing. Presumably there's a way to force the queens off here and then he just romps through with the pawns. Queen c1, king h2. Could play f4, but then I'm still got the same threats as what I did in the game. Queen g6, e8, and then bishop g6 mate. So yep, let's find out. Okay, I'm not going to go. Yeah, let's see what my best move was. Back to d1. Okay, right, now we play queen c1. Yep, that's the, okay, so that's the first correct move, that's the right move in the sequence. I'd got no choice. f4, that's his blunder. What was the best move that wins the game? Yeah, queen g5, that wins the game for him. That wins the game because it forces a trade of queens off and my bishop, otherwise if I move my queen away my bishop's hanging. So yeah, that decides the game, so I completely missed that. So if he'd have found that, he wins the game, but with f4 he's just handing me the game. And it's just an easy queen g6. I didn't realise this was mate to start with. I was just looking at the perpetual, but then obviously following up with bishop g6, and that's good night Vienna. Okay, so let's have a look. So chess.com give me a sort of rating for that game around 2050. My opponent 2000, so that's not bad. Yeah, played very good opening. 100% accuracy. Okay, so take something out of that. Opponent played a good game, or excellent game in the opening. I played an excellent middle game, and yep, as you can see I need to work on my end games. Some shocking moves at times, but it's rapid play, I guess. Right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments and let me know if you'd like to see, or what you'd like to see in future videos. Like and subscribe if you want more content, and all the best with your games. I'm Dale Jackson, you have been watching Jacko Chess, and until next time, goodbye.